Okay, in this video we're going to take a look at how to create a simple chart. If you want to create a chart in Excel, it's on the Insert tab, and we've got a bunch of choices here for charts. We've got column, line, pie, bar, and some other ones that you don't see quite as often. These first four here are pretty common, and we're going to take a look at all four of them. The only difference between a column chart and a bar chart is just the direction of the bars. Otherwise, everything else is exactly the same. A column chart, the bars go vertically, and a bar chart, they go horizontally. So we're going to start off with a column chart here. And what I want my chart to look like is I want to have all of the teams across the bottom, and I want to show their win record and their loss record. And so I need to select all of this data here. And actually, if I want to have a legend created for me automatically, then I also need wins and losses, so those words will appear if I select them originally. And the word teams is not going to show up any place here on the resulting chart, but we're still going to include it anyway. It's when you create a chart in Excel, it likes you to create a rectangle for your selection. So I've got a rectangle here, it goes from A2 down to C13, and I'm going to go to my Insert tab, and I'm going to tell it I want a column chart. And you've got a bunch of choices here. You need to be kind of careful about some of these ones over here. Once you get past the first column, make sure that you understand what you're doing if you pick one of those. We're just going to do a simple 2D column chart, and there it is. If you select the data correctly, Excel will create the chart for you. And we can resize this here and make the chart a little bit bigger. And you notice there's a legend over here that has wins and losses. I've got the team names across the bottom. Excel knows that it can't plot text, and so if there's a text column, it'll put the text across the bottom. And then it tries to plot the numbers, and it takes any column headings at the tops of those columns of numbers and puts them in a legend over here. And that's pretty much all there is to it. Once you've created the chart, you can go in and enhance it, add titles, change the look of the chart. There's almost an infinite number of things you can do, but we're going to look at those in some other videos. What I want to do yet in this video is delete this chart and show you some common mistakes that people can make when they're creating a chart. If you know that you want the wins and losses and you want a legend with the words here at the top, then you know you have to include those words. But if you don't want the word teams there, you might be tempted not to include it and do a selection like this. Now I got to hold the control key down to start up here and select that. Now that's everything I want in my graph, but one cell is not selected here. It's A2, and that's the only difference between what I did a minute ago. And now if I go tell it I want to make that into a column chart, look at that. By leaving out A2 up here, I got something completely different, which is nothing at all like what I want my chart to look like. I'm not even sure how I could go in here and fix this. The best thing to do is just delete it and start over. There's another common mistake that you might make, and that is, let's say that you're selecting, and I'll do these as separate selections here now. And so I'm holding the control key down, and let's say I get wins selected, and I get losses selected, and I let go of the mouse too soon. And so I stop right here. And I say, well, that's not a problem. I will just click on the 9 here and select those last 3 cells. Now, all of the right data is selected, but it's been selected in chunks. And the big problem here is that this is now divided up into 2 parts, and Excel thinks that it's supposed to do one range, or one bar for this and one bar for this. And because I've got 11 bars over here, and I'm sorry, 11 numbers here, and I've got 8 numbers here and 3 numbers here, Excel gets pretty confused. I'll show you how confused it gets by drawing the column chart here. And that's what you get. I had all of the data correctly selected, but I didn't select it the right way. So if you ever are selecting part of a column and you don't get the whole thing selected, there is no way that you can just keep on going. What you need to do is you need to start over. So if I go back here, select it all again, go to Insert, pick Column Chart, and we'll do 2D, and Now I've got a good chart because I selected everything correctly. In some of the other videos, we'll take a look at, once you've got a chart, how you can go in and enhance it and make it look better.